Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Isay and I talk on faith, relationship and personal development. And today I'll be discussing on something very interesting, and it's the continuation of the last two videos. So I actually asked a question that is tagged, what would you do if your sister-in-law suddenly slaps you in the middle of an argument? And a lot of people have sent in what they would do. A lot of people have talked about how they would react to that situation. So today I would be giving my own point of view to that situation. So you're welcome, and I'm sure that you would really enjoy this video. And that reminds me, if you're just joining for the first time, thank you for coming. It always feels nice having you here. And if you've been here before, thank you for coming back again. It means a lot to me that you would come back. I'm sure you'd enjoy this video. So let's move right into it. Okay, so to the question, what would you do if your sister-in-law suddenly slaps you in the middle of an argument? So the first thing I would say, well, I would not just be addressing the issue straight and direct. I'll just be shedding light on it in order for it to be clearer and in order for us to get a better understanding of the whole situation. So the first thing I would be saying, personally, I don't even know what I would do. I mentioned in the previous video that sometimes you don't know what you would do until such thing actually happens to you. But I pray none of us would experience that. So what are some of the preventive measures that we can put in place in order not to have an experience of such a thing? First of all, marry right. Marry right. If you marry the right person, there are lots of things that would not be issues. And marrying right is not just about the man or the woman that you're marrying. You must also take note of the family members, the siblings, and all. So, for a relationship that you've been in, and it's very clear that the siblings do not like you, it is not really advisable to move into such a relationship. It's not advisable to continue with such a relationship or go ahead to marry the people that are actually to marry the person whose family do not actually like you. So try to marry right. You can do that through prayers, by observation, asking questions, and of course, shine your eyes. Don't go with the love is blind, love is blind, love is blind. Marriage would actually open your eyes. So take a look at his family also. Do they like you? How do they treat you? Are they receptive towards you, or is it obvious? There are some people, it can really be obvious in their face that they do not like you. So there's no point moving ahead to marry such a person whose family members do not like you. So if you marry right, there's every tendency that such a thing would not even occur. If you have married into the right family and they love you, then I do not really see why a reasonable person that loves you would actually slap you just because you're arguing. So I think that would actually go a long way in helping to prevent the whole of the issue. The second point is that you should actually know who you are dealing with. The Bible says that we should be gentle as a dove, but as wise as a serpent. So be wise as a serpent when dealing with people, especially difficult and toxic people. So who are you actually dealing with? It is not everybody that you can argue with. It is not everybody that you should argue with. There are some people that get aggressive when they are arguing. There are some people that get angry when you do not agree with them. So if you study the environment you are in, if you study the person you are dealing with and you know such a person, you would know the do's and don'ts of that person, and you would also know how to avoid what the person does not like. So know who you are dealing with. There are times when every member of your spouse family might actually like you, but there might just be that one devil whose head can just turn sometimes, and the person would want to give you attitude every now and then. Of course, you might not actually leave a good person, a good family because of just that one person that does not like you. Well, it's good if everybody likes you and are receptive towards you, but what do you do if there's that one particular person that does not like you? You create boundaries with such a person. Do not get so intimate, or do not put yourself in a situation where you people begin to argue about sensitive things to the extent that you get a slap. So know who you are dealing with, and follow them with wisdom. And then the third point is that avoid arguments. Of course, if you have known who you are dealing with, you would know if this person is a person I can argue with, or if this person is a person that I should not argue with. But basically, argument does not actually do a lot of good. Now, I know somebody will be like, oh, Sarah, so what if I have a contrary opinion to what somebody is saying? Then how do we trash it out? Now, here's how to trash it out. You can talk, you can communicate, you can state your facts, but try to avoid arguments as much as possible. Argument has to do with you saying it is white and the other person saying it is black, and you begin to argue, no, it's white, it's black, it's this, it's that. And before you know, it can get so heated that one might actually begin to want to physically prove, you want to physically assault a person to prove your point. So avoid argument. And there's one thing about arguments: the more arguments you actually win, the more people you lose. The more arguments you win, the more people you lose. So most times when you win arguments, you'll find out that you have tampered with the ego of that person. You'll find out that they begin to resent you. It is just natural. It is humanly natural. When you win an argument, the person that you have won against does not really have 100% love towards you as they used to. So it is very good to actually let the person state his point, then logically state your own point. Oh, I agree with you. I see where you're coming from. But what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Or ask the person, why have you said it is this way? So if you're logical about some things, it will not be issues at all, and you will be able to prevent issues. Of course, what has not happened, there's no way you can react to something that has not happened. So it is really wise to avoid arguments, state your points, and make sure that you actually know who you're dealing with, and of course, marry right, so that you can avoid a lot of issues. Okay, now to the main deal. I know somebody will be like, okay, but you have not really addressed what one should do in such an instance. All right, so I would still stand on the fact that I don't really know what I'll do till it happens. But I'm trying to just imagine, like, we are imagining that it actually happens. The normal natural me, the Adamic nature of me, would actually want to give her a slap or two to prove that I do not like what she has done. But now, what is the reasonable thing to do in such an instance? First of all, do not slap her back. I know a lot of people would not like this, but do not slap her back. You know, you're actually dealing with a woman, you're dealing with your in-laws, you are dealing with your husband's sister or your wife's sister. So as much as possible, although it can be really, really difficult in such an instance, you know, it is being said that when you are in a situation when you feel like reacting or letting out your anger, the best thing to do at that point is to suppress it. At that moment when you really want to prove yourself and say, I'm not your mate, I can't take such from you. Even if we are mates, you can't slap me. At such points where you really want to prove yourself, the best logical thing that you should actually do in such instance is to just calm down. So do not slap her back. Now, what should you do in that instance? If it is a place where you can, of course, in fact, you have already slapped me. So personally, I will not look at if it's a place or if it's not a place. Just walk out from there. Leave the environment. Because as much as you try to say, I will not slap her back, I will be calm, if you still remain in that environment, there's every possibility that you would be triggered to actually do something. And some people can be really, really, really offensive. They can slap you and still tell you, won't you react? Won't you do? They can really push you to the wall. So as much as possible, try to leave that place. You know, it is being said that impatience can make an innocent person to become guilty. Imagine that you slapped me now, and in a way of retaliating, I give you two slaps back, and that person I have slapped back just faints or dies, or maybe the blood pressure just gets so high at that moment and something bad happens. The world will not say, she's the one that slapped me first. They will say you are the one that did, she slapped her and she fainted. Oh, it was when you hit her that the thing came about. They would not say that person has been sick before or something bad has been happening to such a person before. So I'm not trying to cajole you or whine you with words, but as much as possible, just try to leave that environment so that you would not do something nasty or something that you would end up regretting just because of a little uncontrolled anger. Now, does that mean you would let it slide? No. There are some issues that should be trashed. But the best thing to do in those instances, you are not to actually trash it at the moment. There are some things that you must allowed to cool down first so that both of you can be in the right thinking state. If you want to trash it the way it is coming, if you want to trash it the way it is, you might not actually say it well. If I want to tell you that I don't like the way you have slapped me at that moment, there's every possibility that I would say words that I might not actually mean, or I will say words that I will regret. And I want to give you words that will actually pain you or be equivalent to the slap that I've received. So just let it calm down and then talk about it. Don't sweep it under the carpet so that there will not be a repeat of it. So, and mostly it is not really advisable for you to do the talking yourself. That's why we go back to the first point of marrying right. If you marry right, a lot of things will not be issues, a lot of things will not be problem. That's when your spouse must come in, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law must come in, and they address their child. You get the point? So what do? Talk to your spouse and let him or her handle the situation from there. You report, of course, you would not just endure or bear it or pretend as if it never happened. That's not possible. You must talk about it. But that fight is not actually your fight. It is the fight of your spouse, and you must give room and respect to your spouse to handle that situation. So let them fight on your behalf. And then another thing that I would add, just to cap it up, is that as a spouse also, do not talk bad about your spouse, your husband, or your wife in the presence of your family members. You know, somebody said it that it is a person that you actually look down on that you would end up slapping. So if they look down on your spouse, there's every possibility that they would not treat your spouse well. So do not talk bad about them. Oh, if you see my wife, if you see what she used to do at home, oh, if you see my husband, he's irresponsible and all that. Sometimes they may want to, in a bid to defend you or to prove that you are not actually doing well. That's when they will end up, in a bit to prove that your spouse is not doing well, they would end up going to beat the spouse on your behalf, which is what you would not want. So do not talk bad about your spouse in the presence of your family members. And then finally, the last point I'll be giving about this, don't be a liability. Don't be a liability. There are levels of people. There's a kind of person that another person will slap and go free. There are some people that you can't try it with. There are some people that you can't try it with. For somebody who is well-to-do, who is bringing a lot, for an in-law that is actually contributing towards the betterment of your family, you will now say you want to go and slap such a person. What have you eaten? So if you are not a liability, there's nobody that will look down on you to the extent of wanting to beat you or slap you. It is when you need Maggie, you are running to mama's house to collect, you need salt, you are going there. Why would they not look down on you? But if you're actually bringing something to the table, if you're helping them, contributing, even if you're not contributing, be on your own and be self-sufficient. Nobody will look down on you or think of giving you a slap. So, but when you are actually a liability, they feel, oh, this one has come to eat our brother's money. Hey, this one is only depending on our sister to survive. That's when they will want to, Yorubas will say, ilokulo. They will want to use ilokulo to grind you. That means they want to come and give you trash and what you would not accept. So don't be a liability so that you do not get any unwanted slaps. So I think that these tips would actually help to, one, prevent the situation and to also overcome it if at all it happens. And like I've been saying before, nobody prays for such, and I really do hope that every one of us will have beautiful homes, beautiful in-laws where we can sit together, relax, enjoy, and be glad that we got married. I want to believe that this video has really been interesting to you, so do not forget to give it a thumbs up and also share to your loved ones so that they can be a part of the wonderful thing happening in here. Do not forget to also subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can get more amazing videos from me. I still remain your girl Sarah Essay, and you know it always feels nice talking to you. See you some other time. Keep taking care of yourself. Bye.